pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Agenda item number 3, is there any public comment? None heard. May I get verification and posting of the agenda?
Tara Adams for the record. The agenda was posted on the 30th day of December 2025 between the hours of 12 and 5 p.m. at all of the locations listed on the agenda in accordance with statutes.
Thank you. Agenda item 5, may I get a motion to approve the agenda as submitted or revised?
Vice Chair Blakey, I move to approve the agenda as submitted.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Agenda item number 6, approval of the minutes held on November the 10th, 2025 workshop presentation and related to classification and compensation study. May I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I would move to...
I move to approve the minutes of the...
Go ahead, Miles.
I move to approve the minutes of the meeting held on November 10th, 2025 workshop presentation related to the classification and compensation study.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Agenda item number 7, appointments A, election of chair and vice chair positions for the Board of County Commissioners, Highway Commission, CC Communications Management, and designation of the board or committee assignments for 2026. Is there any discussion?
I would recommend we leave the appointments as they are.
Okay. Commissioner Ghetto?
I'm good with them if you guys are good with them as well.
Okay. And then as far as the positions of the board, I would just like to make sure that we're thinking about rotating these positions as we move forward in the future so we can incorporate diverse and perspectives evenly across our leadership team, which will allow us to better serve our community. So keep that in mind. Also, we're looking at the designation of the board committee assignments. And on the list, there is a couple that have question marks on them. Would we like to address those at this time as well?
Mr. Chair, Chris Bross for the record. So as mentioned, after talking to the commissioners individually about their current assignments, again, it was determined that those will not change with one exception. Commissioner Hyde would like to remove himself from the Nevada Works Committee. So that is open at this point for to appoint another commissioner to sit on that board. So I think that's an item that needs discussion amongst the commissioners.
If nobody else would like to stay, I'll do it for another year.
Commissioner Ghetto, do you have any interest in the Nevada Works Committee? It meets,
I don't, but if someone needs to pick that up, I can pick it up.
there's your, okay. And then on the Central Nevada Health District, are we replacing, is someone wanting to get off, or are we just, there's a question mark there?
Mr. Chair, Chris Bross for the record. After reviewing the expiration of terms, it looks like Mr. Jim Barbie's term expired on December 19th, 2025. If it's the position of the board to reappoint Mr. Barbie, that's a decision the board can make. So that's up to you.
Okay. I did review that, on my personal thoughts, I did review that board, and it appears that there's a commissioner on that board from every partner that's involved there, so I would like to see us have a commissioner on that board. Commissioner Hyde, is that something you'd be interested in?
I'll take that.
Okay. And then who's the other member that's on the board? Is that, when is her term available? I believe it's a citizen that's on there.
Mr. Chair, the other representative for Churchill County is Dawn Witten, and her term expires on the 6th of March, 2026.
Okay, so for that board, it's a very important board, and the county has a great investment in that board as we do many things there. I would like to see if the commissioners have an appetite to maybe find someone in the health industry to get onto that board, or maybe a county staff such as County Manager Spross. Commissioner Hyde, Commissioner Ghetto, what's your thoughts there?
Is it just Jim's term that's up, or is Justin's? Is he,
I do not see Justin's
okay.
terminate,
hold on.
or his expiration date on his.
Justin's the medical doctor. that's
Right.
appointed on the board there. But when her term expires in March of this year, we would have to appoint someone. Do we want to sort of plan that out now? And that way the manager can move forward when the time comes?
Mr. Chair, I can certainly get together with staff and see if there's some interest to talking to some people that are currently in the medical field here, and bring that back to the board prior to the expiration, prior to that March 6th expiration date.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other discussion from the commissioners? Is there any public comment on this matter? With none being heard, I'd like to have a motion to keep the chairman and vice chairman positions in order and to make the changes to the committees as discussed. May I have a motion?
Yes, Vice Chair, I would move to elect Miles Ghetto as Commission Chair and Eric Blakey as the Commission Vice Chair. Myself, Matt Hyde, as the Chair of CC Communications Board, and Eric Blakey as the Vice Chair of CC Communications Board. Eric Blakey as Highway Commission Chair, Matt Hyde as Highway Commission Vice Chair, and to approve the officer of the board committee appointments as stated through December 31st, 2026.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Agenda item 7B, approval of a zone change application filed by the Amborski Family LLC Trinity Series concerning property located near Trinity Junction. Assessor's parcel number 005-09113, consisting of 640 acres in the RR20 zoning district, whereby the applicant proposes to change the zoning to I3 heavy industrial. Are you here to speak on behalf of the application? Please state your name and address for the record.
Yeah, Sean Harrison, 503 Sam Clemens Avenue, Dayton, Nevada.
Mr. Patterson, will you be presenting?
Yes, good morning. Thank you. Dean Patterson, Public Works and Planning for the record. So this zoning change application follows recent updates to the Churchill County Code regarding industrial zoning designations. The county recently divided the former industrial zoning district into a tiered system, being I1, I2, and I3. The purpose is to provide separation of high-impact uses, that would be the I3 uses, from residential and commercial areas. The applicant proposes to rezone 640 acres of land, currently zoned RR20 to I3, which is heavy industrial. The intent is to develop an explosive storage and distribution facility. This use is prohibited in the existing RR20 zone, but it is allowed in the new I3 zone through a conditional use permit, which would be heard by the county commissioners, due to the use of handling of explosives. Although the parcel is 640 acres, only 2 acres will be used for the explosive facility. The remaining acreage serves as a protective buffer providing separation from neighboring parcels and roads. The access will come from the I-80 Trinity interchange up a private road that serves a mine near the property and along a transmission line road across federal property. And the applicant has been working with all of these affected properties to obtain access for the project. The Planning Commission recommended approval of the rezone, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Sir, do you have any other comments?
No, as I said in the first meeting, it's pretty straightforward, so.
Okay. Does the commission have any discussion? Is there any public comment concerning this matter? Therefore, I ask for a motion to approve or deny.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the zone change application ZC 25-3 for the Emborski Family LLC Trinity Series to change the zoning of the assessor parcel number to 005-091-13 to I3 Heavy Industrial.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda 7C, zone change application, ZC 25-4, filed by the SEUS Development LLC for 40 Mile Desert LLC. The properties are located off of Interstate 80, assessor's parcel number 004-39114, 004-39115, 004-39117, 004-39119, 004-39120, 004-39124, and 004-39134 in the RR20 zoning district. The applicant proposes to change the zoning to I3 Heavy Industrial for a future solar project. Mr. Patterson?
Yeah, thank you. Dean Patterson, Public Works and Planning for the record. So, like the previous item, this zone change application follows recent updates to the county code regarding industrial zoning classifications, splitting the former industrial district into a tiered system, I-1, I-2, and I-3. The purpose is to provide separation of high-impact uses from residential and commercial areas. The amendments also changed the zoning ordinance such that this new I-3 heavy industrial designation allows for solar power generation subject to a conditional zoning permit, which does not require a hearing, rather than a special use permit, which does require a hearing. The applicant proposes to rezone over 3,000 acres of additional land from RR20 to heavy industrial I3. Solar is already allowed in RR20. This change would streamline permitting for the solar project. Some parcels appear to be severely inaccessible, and the solar project will need to do extensive work. Power availability is mostly limited to 3 parcels along the freeway, but the solar project will make significant investment in power lines. The staff report reviews the criteria. The master plan designation for the area's industrial. This application is consistent with that. One issue is that establishing several square miles of I-3 land can allow heavy industrial activity on vast areas of land with difficult access and power problems. This could overtax the transportation and power infrastructure. However, the applicant has a specific solar project that will use up most of the land without the demand of other uses. Staff recommends, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the project, and I'd be happy to answer questions.
Thank you. Is there any discussion from the commission? None heard. There's no one present representing this application. Therefore, is there any public comment? No public comment? A call for a motion to approve or deny.
I would move to approve the zone change application ZC 25-4, the 40 Mile Desert, to change to the zoning on these parcels to I3 heavy industrial.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Agenda 7D, presentation of the annual comprehensive financial report for the General Churchill County, and CC Communications for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025. Ms. Weideman?
Thank you. This is our audit. It was approved by the audit committee yesterday, and we're going to start with our auditor. She's going to give us a report. This is Kelly Jones from Hindenburg, and take it away, Kelly, please.
I assume that you still have my, presentation. There it is. All right, thank you. As mentioned, this is the audit report for the fiscal year 25 audit for Churchill County and CC Communications. As mentioned, we did give this report to the audit committee yesterday. So I will be going a little bit more high level unless there are any specific questions. So just as an introduction, we just like to say thank you to the county staff, the comptroller's office, and Jamie Hyde at CC Communications and her staff for all of their help in their work in getting ready for the audit this year. And we would point you to the letter of transmittal and the management discussion and analysis, which are at the beginning of the financial statements. If you are looking for more of a summarized version of the financials, both of those items are prepared by Comptroller Weidman. In the financial statements, you'll find various reports. The first is our independent auditor's report on page 15, which gives our opinion of the financial statements. We have issued an unmodified opinion or a clean opinion that the financial statements are materially accurate in our opinion, and that is the highest level of opinion that we can give. We also have a report on internal controls over financial reporting and on compliance. That can be found on page 219. If we had any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses, those would be outlined in this report. However, we do not have any significant deficiencies or material weaknesses for the county for fiscal year 25. On the next slide, we have our independent auditor's report on compliance for each major federal program. This is also known as our single audit report for federal awards. You can find this on page 225 for Churchill County. There were no instances of noncompliance or internal control deficiencies during our federal award test work. The county is a low-risk auditee, and you can see that on page 228, as well as the programs that were selected for testing for fiscal year 25. We also do a single audit or compliance audit on federal programs for the Central Nevada Health District. That can be found on page 235. There were no instances of noncompliance or internal control deficiencies reported for the health district. And you can see on page 238 that the health district is still considered a high-risk auditee, just due to this being the second year of the single audit. They can't be low risk until year 3. Just some overall financial highlights. All funds operated within their approved budgets. You can see the various budget schedules. If you want to look closer at the changes in fund balances, we'd point you to the governmental funds is on page 36. And to see the changes in net position for the business type funds, you can see that on page 42. And if needed, just review fund balance and net position when we talk about those. That is assets plus deferred outflows minus liabilities and deferred inflows. Again, just some more financial highlights. You're aware that the county took over the management of the Central Nevada Health District, which is being included in the financial statements as a discretely presented component unit. You can see those numbers on pages 32 and 33, and you will see on page 33 that the health district had an increase in net position of $753,000. The county also has the the opioid settlement special revenue fund, which was added in fiscal year 24. This is a major fund for fiscal year 24 and fiscal year 25. Following these slides, I have some graphs, but I don't have one for the opioid settlement. So I am just mentioning it here that there was an increase of $147,000, and all of the fund balance for the opioid settlement fund is restricted. So here are just some 5-year trends for the major funds. Here we have the general fund. It has some non-spendable prepaid balances, which are $19,000. It also has some assigned fund balance, which is the purple line, which is currently sitting at $4.9 million. This is just assigned for fiscal year 26 budget appropriations. And then we have unassigned fund balance, which is currently sitting at $1.4 million to be used for fiscal year 26 expenditures. On the next slide, we have the road fund. It has a restricted fund balance, which is the blue line, currently sitting at $591,000 at the end of fiscal year 25. And we have assigned fund balance sitting at $1.3 million. Both are restricted and assigned for road projects in the future. And we have the special ad valorem capital projects fund. At the end of fiscal year 25, we had a assigned fund balance of $13.4 million. We have committed fund balance at $6.6 million, and we have restricted fund balance at $6.3 million. This fund is doing well and has significant fund balance for any future capital projects. For CC Communications, there are three types of classifications for the business type activities: net investment in capital assets, restricted if applicable, and unrestricted. The telephone fund has net investment in capital assets of $33 million, which is a decrease from the prior year just due to depreciation outpacing any capital assets that are being purchased. And we have unrestricted net position of $8.4 million to be used for future expenditures. For the broadband fund, similarly, we have net investments of capital assets. It is currently at $2.4 million, and we have unrestricted fund balance of $3.3 million to be used for future expenditures. For the CC Communications CAP fund, this is where a lot of the activity is currently happening with their Elko County projects and Story County projects, which is being reflected in that net investment in capital assets. You can see there was a significant increase in net investment in capital assets and is currently sitting at $18.4 million. And CAP also has unrestricted fund balance of approximately $700,000 to be used for future expenditures. For the wastewater enterprise fund, again, we have net investment in capital assets of $11.2 million. Again, depreciation is just outpacing expenditures, and there were some significant disposals in wastewater treatment facilities in fiscal year 25, which also contributed to the decrease. And we have unrestricted net position of $1.6 million to be used for future expenditures. And then just some overall cash balance trends. The blue line represents the governmental funds, which is the general fund, special revenue funds, capital project funds. And the green line is our business type activities, which consists of CC Communications, as well as water, wastewater, and golf. For the governmental funds, at the end of fiscal year 25, they had $56 million of cash and investments. And for the business type funds, they had $22.1 million of cash and investments as of the end of fiscal year 25. Are there any questions? I have also included my contact information as well as the audit partner, Chad Atkinson's contact information, if there are any questions that you might have after this meeting as well.
Does the commission have any questions at this point? Ms. Waterman, would you like to continue?
Yes, please. Thank you, Kelly. I have a short PowerPoint presentation right now. Just an overview as well, please. Okay, we're going to walk through the financial statements. Oh, okay, thank you.
This is Linda Rothery for the record. I just was not available to be in the audit committee meeting yesterday, and I did listen to it last night. And just for clarification, Kelly, I have a report that I did not send you for my investments, which actually indicates the effective maturity, which is the actual 5-year mark for all of my investments, and I am in compliance with my current investment policy, which the board approved August 4th, 2022. I will send that information to you, and then if you need anything else, just let me know.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Okay, this up on the screen, we have a 2-year comparison of net position, which in some simple terms, it's assets minus liabilities. You can see that on page 22. You can see that the governmental side, the assets went down about $942,000, and the liabilities also went down for $2.4 million. And so the net position went down $2.3 million. It should be noted, though, that due to accounting changes that are mandated, there was an adjustment of $1.6 million for compensated absences. They were just requiring us to report them differently. So that was a decrease in the net position of the governmental funds of $690,000. And that's a lot of that has to do with, we had less due to from other governments in the financial statements. This is just the timing thing as to when we get our money from other governments. And we also sold a fire truck and the Harmon land. And we had capital improvements of the evidence vault and the buildings on Main Street. And if we go over to the business activities, we can see that net total assets went up $9 million, liabilities went down about $500,000, with an increase in net position of about $7 million. This has to do with a lot of the capital projects that are going on with CCCOM and their expansion. We also are doing the water treatment plant, and we had disposals of the old golf course of wastewater treatment plant. That's page 22 if you want to look at it closer. And next slide, please. And we can look at revenue and expenses compared to prior year. This can be found on page 23. We can see that from 2024, governmental revenues went down $5.8 million, or 11.4%. A lot of this has to do with the COVID funds that were provided in the previous few years, and they've been expended, and they're no longer giving more, so that's where that's coming from. And actually, our governmental expenditures went down as well, about $2.2 million, because we were completing those projects that were funded through the COVID money. And also, you can see what part of the reason that the expenses went down is in 2024, we bought the fire trucks for $1.4 million, and there was some reclassification of expenses. We were doing fleet maintenance through the road department, and it was decided to move it to the general fund to keep it more consolidated, and so that's some of the difference there in the public works and also the public safety. And if we go over to the business funds, we can see the business funds went up $4.5 million, or 18%, and their expenditures went down $2.2 million. This has to do with we are getting grant money for our capital expenditures. Next slide, please. This is a picture of what I just talked about. You can see the sources of our revenue for governmental funds. Our biggest sources are the intergovernmental funds, which is sales tax, various grants, and items that come through other governments. And then we have the taxes, which is the next biggest portion, which is 26% or $11.8 million. And the other pieces of the pie, you can see right there. This can be found on page 36 if you want to look at it closer. Thank you. Next page. This is the general, what I just talked about, except you can see it in a 10-year comparison from 16 to 25, how the various flows of revenue have gone into the general government funds. This can be found on page 196. And you can look, like in the intergovernmental revenues, you can see the big jump from 23 into 24 and 22, where we were getting the COVID funds, and we used those to do some capital projects and to get through the pandemic. And then the next page is governmental fund expenditures. They were $45 million, and this is by function. This can be found on page 198. And our biggest two expenditures are public safety, which is the gray one on the bottom, and general government, which is the blue one on the top, and those are about 24%. And you can see how the other areas are expended through a picture. And then we can go, this is the actual numbers over 10 years of the governmental expenditures. You can see the general government, judicial, public safety. And you can see that the judicial has been going up. This has a lot to do with mandates from the state requiring increases in the public defenders. So that's 10-year comparison. You can look at it closer on page 198. And then we have just a graph of the expenditures with a comparison of the red line of revenues. You can see the big spike in the 22, 23, and it's been going down to more normal levels. However, it is still above pre-pandemic revenues. And that's what I have. And if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Thank you.
Thank you, Sherry. Is there any questions from the staff or commission? None being heard. Ms. Rothery, if you don't mind, can you share that policy with the audit committee and the commissioners just as a refresher?
And yes, I will.
Thank you. I'd like to also point out that the Comptroller's Office for Churchill County was awarded a Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting for 20 years. This is their 20th year in a row that's been awarded, so that's a great accomplishment. So we say thank you to the Comptroller's staff and all the other departments that were a part of that successful reporting. If there's no other discussion, I'll call for public comment. If there's no public comment, I ask for a motion to approve the financial report.
I move to accept the audit report and related findings for the annual comprehensive financial report for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2025.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Agenda item 7E, approval of two parcel map applications, PC 25-13 and PC 25-14, filed by Bart Hyatt concerning property located on Boundary Road, assessor's parcel number 009-07127, consisting of 66.54 acres in the A10 zoning district to implement a previously approved tentative parceling map plan. Mr. Patterson.
Thank you, Dean Patterson, Public Works and Planning, for the record. So this application is implementing a tentative parceling plan with two parcel maps, which are before you now, in order to create 6 lots. And these were previously approved by the county commissioners in the tentative parceling plan application. Both maps are simple and straightforward. The first is creating 3 lots of 11 acres and a large remainder lot, and the second parcel map splits the remainder into 3 more lots. The new lots will front Boundary Road, which is a county-maintained gravel road. Consequently, no road construction will be needed for the project. No issues were raised in the review of the parcel maps. Staff recommends approval, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Is there any discussion with the commission or staff? None heard. Is there any public comment? None heard. I call for a motion to approve or deny.
I would move to approve the two parcel maps, PC 25-13 and PC 25-14 for Bart and Shirley Hyatt to divide APN 009-071-27 into 6 lots, subject to conditions as listed in the staffing report, to accept the offer to grant easements identified on the maps, and to reject offers to dedicate land and improvements.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Agenda item 7F, approval of a partial map application, PC 25-11, filed by Bernard Ponte Jr. and Cynthia Troxel concerning property located at 1250 Rice Road. Assessor's parcel number 008-27203, whereby the applicants propose to divide the farmstead from the farm lot, creating 2 lots. Mr. Patterson.
Thank you. Dean Patterson, Public Works and Planning, for the record. So the applicants propose to divide the farmstead off from the farmland, so they're creating 2 lots. The parcel map is not intended to create new development, but rather to create a parcel for an existing residence and a large remainder parcel of vacant farmland with water rights. The map is fairly straightforward. However, one issue was that the driveway serving the new small lot that runs across another property must meet county standards. Previously, to the review of the application, a variance was approved to use a minimum access road standard, and since then, the road supervisor has confirmed the road is adequate, so everything's fine at this point. We'd be happy to answer questions.
Is there any discussion from the commission or staff? None heard. Is there a public comment? None heard. A call for a motion to approve or deny.
I move to A, approve the parcel map PC 25-11 for the Bernard Pawnee Family Trust and Cynthia Troxel to divide APN 008-272-04 into 2 lots, subject to conditions as listed in the staff report, and B, to accept the offer to grant easement identified on the maps, and C, to reject offers to dedicate land and improvements.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Agenda 7G, approval of community support funding in the amount of $2,180 for the Fallon Community Theater Incorporated, as revised from a revised amount of $5,000 requested, which takes into account the budget cuts from the current fiscal year. Is there anyone here to speak on behalf of this request? Just please state your name and address for the record.
Jessica Huckabee, 905 Wade Lane, Fallon, Nevada.
Glenn Perazzo, 6553 Stillwater Road, Fallon, Nevada.
Do you have anything you'd like to comment on?
Thank you for the donation to our cause. It's very kind of you.
It will be going to movie licensing, which we provide to the community for free most of the time, or low cost. So it will just help the theater continue to offer these free services to the community. So thank you.
Thank you. Is there any discussion between the commission or staff? Is there any public comment?
I would like to say, this isn't just a theater, other things are held here. They had the state football game on in that theater, and it was very full of citizens, and it's a great asset to the community. So I would like to thank all the volunteers that work on that. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Ghetto, do you have any comments?
I don't.
I'll call for a motion to approve or deny.
I would move to approve the funding for the Fallon Community Theater Incorporated in the amount of $2,180.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you.
We'll step down and get a photo real quick. Agenda 7H, approval of the issuance of a notice of award for Churchill County Annex Building Improvement Project, PWP-CH-2026-064, to SB Builders LLC as the lowest responsible bidder in the amount of $322,322. Mr. Hines.
Thanks, sir. Randy Hines, Public Works Planning and Building for the record. This project is for tenant improvements at the Church County Annex Building, more specifically for the Central Nevada Health District. The scope of work is defined in the agenda item, and if you'd like to discuss that further, we can. The project will be federally funded through the American Rescue Plan Act, which should cover will cover all costs of construction. We went out to bid on November 20th and had 3 bidders submit bids. SB Builders LLC was the lowest responsible bidder with a total bid amount of $322,322, and that includes a $40,000 contingency for any unforeseen issues. With that, I can answer any questions.
Is there any discussion between the commissioner or staff? None heard. Is there any public comment? None heard. Ask for a motion to approve or deny.
I move to issue a notice of award for the Churchill County Annex Improvement Project to SB Builders LLC as the lowest responsible bidder in the amount of $322,322 and approve the county manager to execute the contract and any change orders to the same.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Agenda item 8, appeal hearing A. Appeal of the Planning Commission's denial of a request for an extension of the temporary use permit, TUP 427, that was previously granted to Eric Madrigal on September the 11th, 2024, related to the property located at 8893 Helens Way, parcels number 006-03110, whereby the applicant is requesting the extension for temporary use permit for another year. Mr. Hines, would you like to speak first?
Yes, thank you, Randy Hines, Public Works Planning and Building. I'll give you guys a little bit of background information on this appeal. This initially came into the department as a code enforcement case back in, I think, May of 2024, that Mr. Madrigal was living in an RV without the required permits. Just an FYI, Church County Code states that you can live in an RV for no more than 90 days in a calendar year. In September 2024, which is past the 90 days, Mr. Madrigal applied for a TUP and applied for a TUP to live in his RV while he builds a house, which conforms to code. This went to the Planning Commission and was approved by the Planning Commission with the understanding that in the first year he would have his driveway constructed and financing in place for his house. Just another note, in September of 2024, after the Planning Commission meeting, this board approved a code change to allow all TUPs to be administratively done by the planning director. So with that, we've had several email correspondence with Mr. Madrigal regarding his situation. Those are actually included in the agenda report. He's has his driveway constructed, but he's having trouble finding getting his financing for his house. We did emphasize that for the department to give him an extension, he had to have that financing in place in the first year, and if he didn't, we'd have to deny it. At the 1-year deadline, he still had not had his financing in place, which in turn we put him on the planning commission agenda, where they ultimately denied the extension, and that's why we sit here today with the appeal. So with that, I can answer any questions.
Thank you. Mr. Madrigal, would you like to have additional comments? If so, please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Eric Madrigal. My address is 8893 Helens Way, Fallon, Nevada. I've been completely working on getting my financial loan for the home. It's been very difficult trying to get the loan the way that everything is done right now. I can't get a loan any higher than $200,000, and it's kind of hard to build a home under that amount. It's becoming extremely difficult, and I have to keep downsizing from my initial floor plans, and I'm continuing to do so. I've been trying to do this since July of 2025, and I'm getting close, but it's still, I just need more time. That's what I tried to plead last time, and they denied me on that. And I'm still getting close, but I just need more time.
Thank you.
It's making it a lot harder for you guys to restrict me and to kick me off my own property, to have to pay for another place while I'm trying to accommodate and build my home. I can't pay 2 mortgages or 2 rents. You know what I mean? And it's going to make it extremely difficult for me to accomplish what I need to accomplish.
Okay. Is there any discussion with the commission?
When I read through the last minutes, I believe that you stated that you would have the financing in the next year or 2. So,
Just for clarification, that was in the last planning
the
commission.
last
correct?
planning commission meeting. So we're already a year out. So another year or 2 would put us 3 years out.
Yeah, and I think that was kind of the ultimate decision on why it was denied, right? Because again, per Churchill County Code, you have 3 years to construct a house. So that it allows you to live in your RV for 3 years while you're constructing your house. But it also states that every year you have to show substantial progress to building that house, and that's why at the initial planning commission in 2024, it was we were really set on constructing the driveway and getting financing, and that would have been the first year progress. And then after that, we would set progress for the next year, and then after that, we would have it completed in 3 years. So again, that's why we had revised the Churchill County Code, especially for the temporary use permits, to be more defined on what, the length of time for this TUP and what needed to be done for the TUP.
Commissioner Gatto, do you have any comments?
I don't really. I mean, it's one of those tricky things where, it's the financing, so it's something that's kind of out of his control, but, our code is our code, and we're kind of stuck in this predicament of, for $200,000 is all you can get. That's not going to be able to build a fraction of a house. And so we're talking, to custom build a home, $500,000 plus at least, and so we're a long ways off from there. So it's one of those tricky spots.
Okay.
Mr. Madrigal, how much time do you think you would need? I mean, I know you said previously a year or 2, but you had also just mentioned that you were getting close. How much time do you think you would need to secure the financing that you would need for your revised plans or however you're changing your floor plan around?
at least a year. Um, and like I said, I've been changing the floor plans. We've been downsizing as small as we can. You know, we have a family of 4, so we need substantial space, but we can't, you know, go to like a 1-bedroom. You know, I need room for my kids too. So I'm trying to negotiate with my loan officer and work with Creekwood Homes on getting a decent floor plan that I could actually afford to at least around the $200,000 or close to it. You know, I have money to put down for it, but I still have, you know, $42,000 of the loan that I previously had for the land as well. So I have to pay that off and roll that over into the construction loan. But I'm hoping within this year to have at least the loan and getting the construction going. I'm hoping. But that's my goal, really.
Thank you.
Commissioner Hyde? Just a couple of things. The permit was approved on September of 2024, correct?
That is correct.
And you stated that you started to attempt financing in July of 2025? So that was a 10-month gap that you didn't try to accomplish anything?
Yeah, well, I didn't have a job at that time in order to acquire the loan. My wife was actually working, and then she got laid off from, I forgot. Well, she got laid off from Tesla and another company that worked with Tesla.
Okay.
And so I had to pick up get a job in order to start getting the loan going, in order for us to get the house, or to continue the temporary permit as well.
Mm-hmm. And then, during the 24 meeting, I was on that planning commission, and you assured us that you could do the things that you agreed to do. And you seem to have no difficulty agreeing to those. And now you've hit some constraints that's holding you back there. If you can only get qualified for $200,000, how soon can you get qualified for enough money to build a home? Is this a 6-month window? Is this a 2-year window in order to get that financing in place? We can't make decisions on hope.
What was that last part?
So we can't make decisions because you're hoping something happens.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping to get it done in, the next few days, actually. But like I said, I'm still communicating, with Creekwood Homes on trying to find a suitable, affordable home, which Danny Nordington just sent me some plans that could possibly be in my price range. As to $130,000 homes to $40,000 homes. And so that's what I'm kind of working with her to figure out what's in my budget of that $200,000. I just need more time to get the estimates going in order to give it to my finance agent.
Okay. Do you have anything else?
I didn't know that it would be this hard to purchase a home. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this. So I have no idea what I'm actually doing.
Okay.
It's not this commission's, we're not trying to put you out off of your property, but we have these things in place to assure that people just don't move onto a piece of property and never do the improvements that we require. I understand there's some difficulties going on with your financing. I don't know your financial situation, but all we want to see is progress, and there's been very little to no progress made.
But there are some progress made. I have the driveway done,
The driveway is done. I saw that.
so
that's-
there is progress.
So we're past a year. And from your own words in the last meeting, it may be another year to 2 years. That's a big window. So, you know, I'm not opposed to if you've got some things identified that you can afford, and you're saying that this is brought to you yesterday? Some floor plans that you might be able to afford?
Yeah,
Okay, you know, so I would think in the next 6 months, you should be able to secure financing for that.
yeah, I'm trying to, yeah.
So I don't know if that's in our wheelhouse to do, but I would think in the next 6 months, I'm willing to give a 6-month extension, but much beyond that, I don't know that we can, you know, I don't want to put a family off of their property. And the other thing is I just don't know that you can do it in 6 months, when I'm getting a time frame of a year to 2 years.
Well, I was hoping that, you know, that the market would get better, you know, and that's what I originally was planning to wait for. But I'm kind of being pressured into doing this so quickly, you know.
Well, and these things are in place too to protect other property owners around where you live, right? Because we can't just, there's codes and things in place to protect all the property owners in that area. So,
But there's
I don't know.
multiple people
What's
living in the
the-
trailers all around us. That's not the only one. Like,
can you speak to that?
Yeah, so I think we have currently like 111 or so temporary use permits. A lot of those are for farm labor. There are also some for hardships. There's some for home construction, which I think we have about 12 or 13 of those. And then there's some for watchman's quarters, and those are typically for commercial uses, right? I'm not saying that those cover everybody living in RVs. We typically don't go out and look for people living in RVs. They typically come to our department as a code enforcement case, which with this one did. Somebody put in a code enforcement case saying that somebody was living in an RV for longer than 90 days. So like I said, we don't go out and look for them, but I'm sure there's people out there living in RVs without the proper permits.
yeah, there's literally one that's been living in their RV for the last 4 years, 5 years, on our street. There's people behind this building that lives in their RV, and you guys don't do anything about that?
Mr. Madrigal, we are here to discuss your permit, and we cannot allow other information as you presented to factor into our decision today. So the decision upon this board today is on your permit, so that information is irrelevant to this situation, just so you know. If you think someone is doing something wrong, you're more than happy to go and file a complaint yourself, and the planning department will definitely investigate that and find the findings. Commissioner Ghetto, do you have any comments?
No, the only thing I would add is that if we're going the Creekwood, manufactured home route, is that I'm not for sure, but, Creekwood's going to have some sort of wait period or wait time for the home to actually be built, delivered, installed, stuff like that. So I think we're looking at more than 6 months, probably more than a year. I think that's just something that we should take into consideration there as well.
Are you talking about the build?
No, when you purchase a home from Creekwood Homes, sometimes there's a waiting list. So you may have to wait 6 months before they even start building your home, and then you may have to wait 4 months for it to be built, then you may have to wait 2 months for it to be delivered.
Yeah, but I thought we're just talking about getting the loan.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, this, for him to get an extension for this temporary use permit, he just has to have the financing in place. So if he gets the if you say, hey, we'll give you 6 months to get that financing in place, if he gets it in place, then we can give him another year extension to then construct the modular home from there.
I understand. Commissioner Ghetto, do you understand that?
Okay. Yep, thanks for the clarification.
Commissioner Hyde, do you have anything else? In your appeal narrative, you mentioned a couple things, your paragraph there, and I just want to make sure that we're on the same page there. You said that to help you make sense of this makes sense, right? So there's a couple things I pointed out that to help you make sense of why we're here today is, one, you established a residence there without the proper permitting. So that's a concern for us. And then, second, you agreed to all these timelines and all this work at the Planning Commission meeting. You signed the paper. So that's why we're here today. And then third, you waited 10 months before you really did anything. So that's a concern that we have. And then fourth, there's nowhere it says in the permit that we wanted you to go put livestock on that property. That has no concern of ours. So for you to say in your narrative that the county doesn't care, that's not correct. Because we do care. You're not honoring the agreement that you signed. And we do care that this could burden our community and infringe on the property rights of all the other property owners that connect to your property. So that's not fair. So that's why it makes sense for you to be here today. And I just wanted to point those things out. I have nothing further. Does any other commissions or staff have any further? If not, I call for a motion to deny, approve, or extend. I'll call for a second action to, a motion to approve, deny, or extend. The item on the agenda has failed to receive a motion, therefore it stands with the decision of the Planning Commission issued previously. Thank you for your time today. Agenda item 9, letters received. Does anyone want to discuss or pull one of the letters? None heard. We'll accept it. Agenda item 10, new business A, approval of a professional services agreement between Churchill County and Picometry International Corporation, DBA Eagleview, for aerial imagery flights in 2026, 2027, and 2028 for a total of $100,800 for over 3 years.
Good morning. Denise Felton, Churchill County Assessor for the record. The proposed agreement before you will capture 3-inch oblique and 2-inch orthogonal imagery of 112 square miles of the county to be flown July 26, July 27, and July 28 respectively at a cost of $33,600 per flight. The new imagery will aid in the addition of new property to the secured tax roll through our new construction process and reappraisal for the next 3 years. The technology fund is the funding source for the contract and will be included in budget 310 for each of these fiscal years. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Is there any questions, discussion, commissioner or staff? None heard. A call for a motion to approve or deny.
I would move to approve the professional services agreement between Churchill County and Pictometry International Corp., DBA Eagleview, and to authorize the chair to sign the agreement for the not-to-exceed amount of $100,800 for the 3-year contract.
Commissioner Ghetto, can I get a second? I second the motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 2-0. Agenda item 10, new business B, approval of hiring Kenneth Henke for position of IT professional at advanced step placement of grade 60, step 6. Mr. Sanford.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. Joe Sanford for the record. The county has been recruiting for an IT professional for some months, since October of 2025. It's been difficult. We've made a couple of offers, but been rejected due to pricing. We have identified a candidate, Mr. Kenneth Henke, who has expressed a strong interest in joining Churchill County. His current remuneration was above the starting position. He has substantial IT experience working for the Trex Corporation in Fernley, doing a lot of the same type of work that we would be asking for him to do here. The county code authorizes an advanced step placement in 2 situations: to meet a difficult recruiting option, as well as to support the hiring of an experienced candidate. Both are relevant in this matter. I have informed Mr. Henke that the county is currently undergoing a compensation study. He did understand that if he did accept this position and the board were to place him at an advanced step, that ultimately he would be placed at the first step. That is not a decrease when that compensation study is completed, and if this board chose to adopt it. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Does the commissioner staff have any discussion or questions? Is there any public comment? Oh, go ahead.
I just want to make sure that everybody understands that those steps, that's a loaded wage, correct?
Correct. The fiscal impact is a loaded wage. That includes health benefits, PERS benefits, all of the associated costs.
Thank you.
There's no other discussion. Is there public comment? No public comment. I ask a motion to approve or deny.
I would move to approve the advanced step placement of the prospective employee to grade 60, step 6.
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. Agenda item number 11, consent agenda. May I have a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented?
I move to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Agenda item 12, consider future agenda items. Commissioner Hyde?
No.
Commissioner Ghetto?
I have nothing.
County Manager Spross?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. So a commissioner had approached me regarding some additional time to review the documentation associated with specific agenda reports. And so I wanted to basically ask the commission if this is something that they're interested in having me bring to them at a future commission meeting, so that that can be discussed and an exchange can be had. So if you are interested, please let me know, and I will certainly put that on the agenda for a discussion and a determination.
Can you explain a little bit further? I guess I don't understand what you're saying.
So as mentioned, it was brought to my attention that by the time the agenda report is posted to the public is when the commissioners are able to view it as the public. And it's been noted that with certain agenda reports, there can be a considerable amount of backup documentation that needs to be reviewed in order to make a concise and accurate decision. And it's been mentioned that sometimes there's not enough time. And so I wanted to put on the agenda so the board can discuss it to see if they are interested in having the agenda come out sooner to the meeting date. Right now, I believe it is 7 days, and I just wanted to float the idea to have that discussion if the commission is interested in having the agenda come out 10 days prior to the meeting date or 12 days to allow for that additional review time of the backup documentation. That is something that needs to be discussed by the board, and therefore I found it prudent to see if that was an agenda item that the board would like to talk about. Did I clear that up?
Yes, you did, thank you. Commissioner Hyde? Commissioner Ghetto?
I have nothing. If that's the route we want to go, I'm more than open to that. I'm pretty happy at the 7-day mark right now, but if we wanted to extend that, I mean, I could always use more time to review stuff.
Mr. Vice Chair, I just want to make a clarification. It is not 7 days. It's 4 days. You have to do it by 3 business days prior to the meeting. I try to do it 4 days, so traditionally we do it 4 days. So we would be going further from 4 days, not 7.
Okay, so I think that we're in agreement to get it on the agenda, and we'll have a discussion. Thank you, County Manager Sprouse. Is there any other future agenda items?
Mr. Chair, we reached out to the commission for scheduling a workshop to discuss some hiring-related issues, attrition policy, and things like that. I've also been in discussions with Mr. Hines regarding a fee schedule for the Public Works Department. It would be a relatively involved discussion on the fee schedule, and I wanted to ask whether this commission would like to include that as an item at their workshop to make that a longer workshop, or would you prefer a separate workshop or a longer agenda at a regular meeting?
Commissioner Hyde?
I'm good with a separate workshop, so we can really stay focused on that item.
Okay, Commissioner Ghetto?
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
Consensus is a separate item or separate workshop? Thank you. Any others? Thank you. Agenda item number 13, Commissioner or Management Staff Reports. Commissioner Hyde?
It's been a quiet 2 weeks, this first period of 2 weeks that I've not had lots of meetings in a year. So it was a quiet holiday. Got through it unscathed. I have nothing to report the last couple weeks.
Thank you. Commissioner Ghetto?
I have nothing. Just hope everyone's having a good New Year.
Yes, I agree. It's been pretty quiet, and we're getting the new year started off well. One thing I did want to bring up is I noticed in the financial report that there's a an organizational chart that appears to be outdated, and just wondering who updates that? Is that our responsibility? Is that staff's responsibility? Does it need to be current all the time with the current year? That's a question I have, and then of course it defines a lot of responsibility levels of the elected and the appointed, so it's good to have that, and I'm glad to see it.
It was as of the audit date, so it will be updated in the next, because this was a point in time as of June 30th, that's why it was current as of the end of that fiscal year.
Okay.
But it will be updated in the next audit, and it is done through the county manager's office, working with the comptroller's
All right,
office.
thank you. District Attorney Carner.
Nothing from me. I don't know if Art has anything.
District Attorney Mallory.
Thank you, and thank you, Joe, for turning me on. A couple of things. Just by way of passing, the chain of command structure is a very good idea. In addition to having it where it would function properly according to the way the county intends for it to function, we need to also comply with provisions of Nevada revised statutes as to how exactly some of these offices work together and who's in charge of what. And we're presently working on that right now, and hopefully we'll continue to complete that. The other matter is that although we have a truly outstanding staff who are doing a fantastic job, we still have vacancies in both attorney's position and support position. So we're doing our best to try to get those filled, but it's a tough world out there, and we'll just keep going at it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. County Manager Spross,
Nothing to report.
Assistant County Manager Sanford,
Nothing, thank you.
County Treasurer Rothery.
We have candidate filing that was started yesterday. That'll run for 2 weeks. This is judicial. We did have one filing. The third installment property taxes was also due yesterday, and we will run that for a 10-day before we put on a penalty. We have 1,100 delinquent letters that were mailed out yesterday, so that's kind of like letting people know that they have delinquent taxes that they need to catch up on. Other than that, in my November interest allocation, in all the returns totaled $231,204,000, which was another productive month.
Thank you. Clerk Moore? Clerk Adams? Recorder Hesse?
Yes, the Recorder's Office recorded 38 single-family resident homes in November with an average price of the sale being $378,000.
Assessor Helton?
Denise Felton, Treasure County Assessor. My staff is just busy answering taxpayer inquiries.
Sheriff Hickox?
Sheriff Hickox for the record. We have 2 positions which we're hoping to get some movement on this week, with physicals being completed for one and then a CVSA for the other. So we'll know if we can move forward with those, but that'll hopefully move us forward to moving 2 of the 5 positions that are open at the Sheriff's Office.
Thank you. Public Administrator Ghetto? Thank you. Agenda item number 14, claims and payrolls going around, and agenda item number 15, public comment. Is there any public comment? None heard. The meeting is adjourned at 9:33 a.m. Thank you.